Elements of projectile. As you can observe sa tuang drawing, natin yung mga highlighted na mga components. So this is our VOY, the VOX, okay, and the final velocity at the highest point that is equivalent of 0, and of course our trajectory, and then we have here capital H and capital R and time. Okay, this is maximum height in the vertical displacement. And then we have range. It talks about the maximum horizontal distance, and for our capital T for the total time, and for the small t that is our half time. Okay? So kato na siyang i-illustrate. Ito muna sinasabi natin projectile trajectory. Pag kani siya mo ni iyang height, pero pag kanina horizontal part, that is our range. Okay, trajectory is the path followed by a projectile. Now, take note that there are three factors in projectile motion. We have the time of flight, that is the entire duration while the projectile is in its trajectory, and then range, na sinasabi kong range, the maximum horizontal distance traveled by the projectile. And of course, our maximum height, and that is the maximum vertical displacement traveled by the projectile in its trajectory. Okay, so this time, we are going to talk about the two components of a projectile. We have the vertical and of course the horizontal. Now, ako na ni siyang gidiretso o summarize ang mga formula nato. Bale, this will be served as our formula card. Okay? That means naka-derive na ni siya tanan. Now, try to observe our highlighted na mga variables. Pag sinabing VOY, bakit Y? It's because it is in the vertical component. Pag VO, that is our initial velocity. And then this is the word sign that is in a trigonometric function. Okay? And this is an angle. Okay? Or theta. Next, for our normal time or the half time, pwede na ito siya makuha gamit aning VOY divided by gravity. Or, di ba, ang VOY is equal to VO sine theta divided by gravity. Now, ano yung capital letter T? It is the total time of flight. So, atuhan lang i-multiply ang small time by 2. Di ba? Remember to our previous discussion na symmetrical lang ang iyahang time duration gikan sa pataas o ang pagbaba. Okay? That is why T is equal to 2 times the normal time. Now, in case na ay given si dy, pwede po nato ni magamit ang time as square root of 2 dy divided by gravity or negative gravity. Okay? Next, for our h or maximum height, ano diri siya belong kay vertical component because vertical component is what? Under the influence of the gravity. Na makita niyo na siya yung mga gravity ng mga formula. Okay? For the h, we can use this formula as the VOY squared divided by 2g, or yan, h multiplied by the VO sine theta square multiplied by itself and divided by 2g. Okay? Now, how about our horizontal component? Now, pag horizontal, most of the time, ginagamit natin dito is the cosine. So, VO cosine theta. For the R, we have the range. Ngano range gani? It is because the maximum horizontal distance. So we can use this formula to find range is equal to Vox capital T, pwede po Vox small t. Depende sa ipangayo sa problem, no? Or situation sa problem. And then we have here, or pareha lang na sila sa ng Vox T, R is equal to VO cosine theta multiplied by the small time, and range is equal to VO cosine theta multiplied by capital T or total time. Okay, so we are now in the sample problem. Okay, now a ball is thrown horizontally from a height of negative 5.50 meters with an initial speed of 25.0 meter per is how long will it take the ball to reach the ground? Okay, so let's try to check the free body diagram. Okay, that indicates here na yung bola natin. Okay, remember, it is thrown horizontally. So that's why nakaana lang na siya. Nakita ninyo wala siya yung angle. And the value of our initial velocity is equal to 25.0 meter per second. And then we have here the distance y. Okay, kasi given yan from a height of negative 5.50. Actually, kulang tayo ng negative 5.50. Okay, so yan yung free body diagram ng ating sample problem. How to solve? Of course, gagamit pa rin tayo ng GUFSA. So let's start with our given. Now, based to our problem, okay, kato sa to ang given, ayan, sinakita na to. So naatay, initial velocity that is equivalent to, okay, very good, 25.0 meter per second. Okay, then ano pang nakikita nyo dyan? Very good, it's the dy, or yung distance or height natin is negative 5.50 meters. Ano pa? Of course, wala yung nakabutang, no angle of projection. So, wala yung nakukuan. Wala siya angle detected, no? Wala yung angle. So, 0. We need to say no degrees. Okay, next. So, ready na itong mga given. But, di ba, ano ko sa inyo nga that projectile is what? Okay, naka-divide na siya into two components. So that is why we have to extract or resolve the x component and the y component. Okay, still sa given gihapon ko siya. Kadi man taka-proceed kung wala ang atong x component. So si x component, okay, and then y component. Ayan, so kailangan naka-divide yan. So remember, what's the formula of our x component? Okay, VOX is equal to, very good, VO cosine theta. Okay, and our VOY is equal to VO sine theta. Next, so lagyan natin ng value. So what is the equivalent of VO? That is 25.0 meter per second multiplied by the cosine. Now by degree, wala, 0 lang siya. On the other side, we have 25.0 meter per second multiplied by sine 0. Now, ang tanong dito, saan ni siya pag-compute ma'am? So, dili magkaka-compute ani kung wala si calculator. So, rule number 1, dapat si calculator naka-degree mode, no? Degree mode. Tanong dito may letter D. Okay? So, ano lang, simple lang, okay? 25 times cosine 0, that is equivalent to, that is, our VOX is 25 meter per second. For our VOY, parehas ang ihapon. So, 25 sine 0. Ano lang? 25 sine 0. So, that is 0. Okay? So, our VOY is 0 meter per second. So, are we done? Wala. So, ang ganito, again, so 25 close or open parenthesis, cosine 0. So, that is equal of cosine, and that is 25. Okay. So, we're done with the resolving the x and y component. So this time, let's try to know the unknown. So how long? Pag sinabing how long, it refers to the time. Okay? How long? Dili siya distance ha. Basta how long will it take, that refers to our time. Okay, so unknown natin is time. Time in seconds. So for our unknown, ayan, time, no? In seconds. Okay, next. After GU, that's formula. Now, this time, ma'am, dagamit yung klaseng formula. Asa na formula ang gamiton? Now, let's try to check asa nili ang time. Ayan, pwede ba natin yung magamit sa VOY? Okay, VOY. Remember, our VOY, kung kanya itong gamiton, ano ba siya, no? That is 0, so hindi siya pwede makuha. So, that means, ang pwede na ito gamiton is si 2dy. Okay, because natin tayo given na distance. So, kanya ito ang gamiton na formula. Okay, so the formula is time is equal to square root of 2dy. Okay, divided by gravity. Mga problema, diretsyo na ta, ha? Sige, so let's try to proceed in our solution. Ayan, so time is equal to square root of 2dy divided by gravity. Okay, distribute the value, square root of 2. What is our distance? Negative 5.50 meters. Okay, divided by 9.81 meter per second square. Okay, so kanina makancel mo na siya. Tapos sa square root mo, kuhaan po na. So, mabilin si seconds. Okay, so next. So, 2 times negative 50 meters. O wala naman unit. That is equivalent of negative 11 of what? Ayan. Okay, and then ang nabilin si 9.81 meter. Okay, now dili man ta kakuha ano negative. So buta to si negative or negative divided by negative, that is equal to positive. Okay, basta negative sign, division gani yung operation, may mo siyang positive. So maybe para dili ta maglibo, butangan ta siya negative and negative. Oh, what we have here, negative 11 divided by negative 9.81, that is equivalent of positive 1.12130, okay, per seconds naman nabili kay cancel naman na siya. And then, pag square root ana, ang yahang mabili na time is 1.06 seconds. So that is our time. Okay, actually rounded off na yan into 2 decimal places. But of course, tuloy-tuloy lang na siya. Pero actually, nagagamit na calculator. Okay? So, unsa pagkuha ni, kablo ko maglibog mo ano. So, ano lang, unahan ninyo ang square root. And then, 1.121. Okay, 30. And then, that is 1.0589. So, rounded off na ko into 2 decimal places. If you can observe, on the process pa ganit ta 4 decimal. Pero pag final na ganit, 2 decimal places. Kani, pag napata sa process, gamit tag upat ka decimal places, and for our final answer, 2 decimal places. And that will be our agreement para dili ta maglibo sa tong. Okay, so for your task problem, okay, task, that means trabaho ninyo, but of course, okay, tagaan na mo mga hint para makapadayon. So, a body is projected at an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal and with an initial velocity of 20 meters per second. In how many seconds will it reach back the ground? So, if you can observe, ang green color na to refers to our time na siya ang unknown. And then, naagya punta initial velocity that is equal of 20 meters per second. Now, this time, naana siya value or angle of projection that is equivalent of 30 degrees angle, no? Muna ito ang gamiton para unya sa ito ang vector resolution of x and y component. Okay, of course, do not forget to draw our free body diagram, okay? So, from the initial velocity of 20 meters per second, okay, a body is projected at an angle of 30 degrees, and then we are going to find the value of time. Okay, small time naman ang question. Will it reach back the ground?